Welcome everyone to CBRC Use Case Register. I'm very excited to have our Palau Stablecoin project and our friend from Palau, Jay Anson. And Jay's going to talk us through all the exciting parts of what's happened with Palau Stablecoin. We'll have a great conversation to find out what's happened and how this is being used in blockchain. So first of all, over to you, Jay. Can you give us a quick introduction, please, to the audience?
Yes, hi. So Jay Hunter Anson. I've been working on the Palau Stablecoin project now for going almost 2 years. Working with the Ministry of Finance on their board of directors. Started out in the digital residency office. I took over that program. And we've grown that from, I think it was 1,400 residents at the time. We're now over 14,000. It's bringing in some great revenue and economic diversity for Palau. Based on that, the success of that, and a couple of other blockchain related projects, my boss threw me into the coin realm. Then we just started working with Ripple right off the bat, and got through the pilot phase of the solution design and phase one and everything that entailed. Very successful. Prior to that, my background is in cybersecurity, so I've done that for almost 20 years now. Back before it was even called cybersecurity, the information assurance days, and a lot of parallels and a lot of benefits with that technology background that just seamlessly made it pretty seamless, the integration into blockchain and working with the stablecoin.
Cool. So yeah, I was gonna ask you, what's your interest in blockchain then? So it sounds as though, from cybersecurity, that's sort of obviously one of the foundations. Obviously, blockchain is cryptography and that side of it. So is that how you got into blockchain?
Yes. Well, I had a call. My real focus with cybersecurity is governance, risk, and compliance. And so it's working with frameworks, working with emerging technology and developing frameworks to make sure that it's safe to use. And so, yeah, I mean, blockchain definitely with the cryptography on top of the technology made it very interesting. I think it's the future of the best way to secure transactions and secure just the way people communicate with each other. And so it's, it was very interesting. And once I got into it, there really was no turning back.
Exactly. Cool. So, the audience might have read a little bit about the Palau stablecoin. I'm sure a lot of the audience have read a lot, but just give us a background. Where did the project come from, and just what is the project set to achieve?
So, I mean, I came on board June of last year. Of 2022. And my understanding is there were initial talks and some attempts at passing a stablecoin law in Palau in early to mid 2021. And right around the summer of 2021 is when the first meetings with Ripple took place. And the intent behind it really was to explore the technology, explore the possibilities of using blockchain technology to enhance economic diversity, economic growth in Palau. And so from that, we started putting together a solution design and what that would look like. We did some strategic analysis of the different elements and whatnot in Palau to see, is this something that's right? Are there use cases that this would be able to assist and enhance? And there really were. Palau is it's a decentralized fiat economy, if you will.
Okay.
So there are commercial banks in Palau, but most people just use the banks to get their fiat cash out, and then they keep it at home and then spend it as needed. Not a lot
Mm.
of individuals keep their money in the bank.
Okay.
Uh, so, it's those that use case just seemed to make sense where, instead of having it in paper and coins at your home, have it in digital form on your phone.
Okay.
It's safe, it's trackable, and there's regulatory constructs and frameworks and laws already in place that would support this type of technology.
Yeah, and so you've completed phase one, sort of a month or so ago. Was it this November or September? Was it this year, 23?
We finished the final report in November,
Okay.
released in December. Our last we stopped distributing and destroyed the pilot stablecoin at the end of September. We extended it for 30 days due to popular demand. There were a lot of people that they wanted to come on board. They wanted to be part of the pilot. We had a limit of 200 volunteers, and we were working with about 80 to 100 at first, and then once people saw that it was successful, it was safe and secure, then they wanted to participate. So we were able to extend a little bit and let more people participate, and including participating in the post pilot survey.
Yeah,
Um,
and
so
during the pilot, they were actually going to restaurants and shops, weren't they? So just talk us through just how did it actually work, the actual pilot?
so they what we wanted to do with the pilot was test our solution design, and really just it was testing that the technology worked, the solution
Yeah.
design worked. We were able to mint stablecoin, distribute it, track uh, how it was being spent, and then get feedback from the users and the retailers of any issues. Like, did they think this was something that was viable? That is something that would work in Palau, that they'd be interested in doing long term in a full production type scenario, and then destroying the stable coin in the end to make sure it, or freezing it in perpetuity.
And were people actually buying coffee and paying for meals? So they actually went to a
Yes.
restaurant, ate the food, had the coffee, and then
Yep.
paid with their QR code.
Yes. So I
Okay.
had the honor of making the first stable coin purchase, and that was I bought breakfast for myself at one of
Okay.
the participating retailers.
Excellent.
So we had three retailers that participated. One was large retailer, one of the larger retailers on the island, and they actually have a grocery store, department store, 5 or 6 different departments within their store that each department had their own wallet to receive and process stablecoin. Then we had a local restaurant, hotel, and then a smaller retailer that also had a restaurant. And so we had a pretty good mix of different
Yeah.
aspects of business life in Palau.
Yeah. And so for the people, what's the feedback from the people that used it? What did they like about it? What could be improved?
Oh, it was I thought overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
Uh, e- Even the some of the areas that we can improve. Right, it was mostly geared around the network, the Wi-Fi network. It was slow.
Okay.
Transactions would take time to go through, or some they would time out, and then you'd have to start over again. That's the infrastructure in Palau is very dated. There are plans and timelines in place by Palau National Communications Corporation. I had a meeting with the general manager earlier this week, and just to get an update on the timeline. Palau is poised, once the upgrades and modernization to the computer or the telecom network are complete. Palau is going to be probably the best in the Pacific region as far as telecommunications network. So that, and that's going to run parallel to our efforts in developing and continuing to roll out stablecoin into full production.
What was the feedback from the retailers and the hotel?
Oh, they liked it. The retailers, their big area for improvement, of course, was, it did take us a while because it was a manual process to process their redemption requests and get them their US dollars when they redeemed the stablecoin. But a full production environment, that'll be automatic. As soon as they,
but also so also the sort of the base of it is obviously the XRP ledger and the the blockchain. That actual part of the transaction, that was very quick and simple and easy. It was more the on and off ramping back to fiat currency. Then was that the biggest challenge?
Yes. Okay. Once people were in the ecosystem, the pilot, it was seamless. It ran smooth. Okay. And so, when we full production, the need to redeem stablecoin is very minimalized because you actually just want to keep using stablecoin. You don't want to go back and forth unless you absolutely have to. The retailers are very interested in the cost savings and the efficiency of if their suppliers could start using stablecoin as well, and they could just do their transactions that way. It cuts down on just the time between electronic payments or cutting checks. They still use the paper checks. The process is slow. It's very expensive. So they were looking at an economy of scale perspective. It's going to be very, very good for them.
Brilliant. No, that sounds like amazing sort of feedback from that. And, I think having a digital currency, a stable coin, in this case, is massively important. I remember at the start of the project, a lot of the discussion was around financial inclusion. And I think with my research, you've got 140 different islands that make up Palau. And so I believe there was an issue in pre the sort of stablecoin where people were actually taking money on boats and physically taking cash around. Is that the way it used to work?
It's still like that. There are ATMs. There's 6 major islands that are populated, and only 3 of them have ATMs. No, 2 of them. Oh, wow. Well, 3 of them. Yeah, Kur, the former capital, and then Babeldaub is the big island, if you will, has ATMs, and then they put one in Peleliu just recently. But it costs money, and to keep them stocked, to maintain them. You pay fees to take the money out, whereas a stable coin, our context, it's a 1-for-1 tokenization of the dollar on your phone, and you just use that as a payment system. Same thing as PayPal or Alipay, which already exist in Palau.
Yeah, exactly. And were the people using it to send money between themselves as family, or is that another part of the project? They did, yes. So that would be whoever.
No, they did. That was actually an emerging something that people just started doing on their own once they figured out that it was possible. For example, the capital, where a lot of the government workers who volunteered for the pilot worked. There's no major. There's one now that just opened last month. Right, there's a big store, but what they were doing was they were sending their stable coin to people who live closer to the department stores and asking them, hey, can you pick me up, something? You go into the store? Can you get some groceries? I don't have time, because it takes about an hour. Just, the roads there, it's a small island, but the roads are small. You can't really go that fast with the different. So no, they were transferring back and forth. There was in Palau, they have a tradition called Babak, where the community comes together and you collect small amounts of money to help pay for major expenses like funerals or for new houses, things of that nature. And so instead of someone going around with an envelope collecting other smaller envelopes of cash and then writing it down in an Excel spreadsheet, they were able to just transfer it in stablecoin.
Amazing.
And
Yes.
they the benefits of that. So it's eco-friendly, cuts down on time, it saves time, and it's safe and secure.
Yeah. And is the population sort of an aging population or a younger population? What's the population in general? Because some of the feedback that I would hear from people is, oh, young people are used to this. They're used to using their phones. Just talk to me a little bit about the makeup of the population there.
I mean, it varies, but everyone has a smartphone in Palau. Not everyone has a bank account, but everyone has cash, has it's again, it's that decentralized fiat economy. So many of the older generation, they do like local vendor markets. They participate in those every Saturday, Friday night. There's a major one that a lot of people go to. It's huge with tourists, but they use cash boxes to collect money, and they carry it that way. They're very, very small amounts of money, so they don't want to accept credit cards and then have to pay the vendor fees and the merchant fees, because it cuts into their profit margins. Whereas the Palau stablecoin, the transaction fees would be very, very small, and it would enable people to spend more, and you would be able to collect more. So in that sense, the potential for economic growth is very strong.
Excellent. No, that's great. There's some really amazing use cases, from, just this small trial. I know it was a very important trial, but it's excellent to see. And so I saw, obviously, I think last week you were December, sorry. You signed off phase 2. So what does phase 2 look like in 2024?
Right. So phase 2, we're really looking forward to building on the successes from phase 1. We successfully proved that the technology works, our solution design works.
Good.
And we determined through the surveys that it's something that Palauans want. Majority of the survey respondents touted the benefits of it. They identified those areas of improvement with the infrastructure, but overall, it's something that they want to use. They want to convert their own money into, and it'll just increase spending. They see the benefits of being able to pay your electricity bill with your phone, buy more airtime for your phone with your phone. Order groceries, things of that nature. So, I mean, the benefits and potential are there. And so phase 2, we were going to start with building the foundation for the ecosystem. So we need to get a commercial bank to hold the reserve funds to the stable coin. We're working on our marketing and messaging. We've partnered with Palau Pledge. They have a huge marketing. They've had huge marketing success with Palau Pledge and the Friends of Palau initiatives. They're rolling out a carbon a way for tourists and visitors to Palau to help offset the cost of their carbon footprint. So they want to, have stablecoin incorporated into that. We're talking to PNCC so that we can make sure we're supporting them in their modernization efforts, so that the PSC transactions go through more quickly, and we maintain that level of security and compliance with all of the different regulatory frameworks and things of that nature that are required.
Yeah,
So yeah,
fantastic.
we want to build a larger base of vendors and retailers who will also participate and accept the
Yeah.
stable coin.
Yeah, because the more retailers and people you have, the more it stays within the network and within the digital system. So it's a lot more efficient. And I think the very important part was the fact that you have a commercial bank that has $1 in the bank for every digital. So it's 100% backed by an official FDIC US insured bank. And I think did people ask about that, or was that just was it an important part for the education?
It was. There was a lot of misconception about what we were trying to do in the beginning, because we actually delayed the launch of the distribution phase, the pilot, the solution design pilot twice. The first time was because of the FTX debacle and everything that happened there. People were backing out. They thought this was somehow
connected somehow,
tantamount there. And then, when Silicon Valley Bank went under, initial media blitz was it was somehow related to them being a crypto startup friendly bank. That was not true, as it turned out. And so we stepped back, and we really had to step up our messaging and our educational message that this is not the same as those more volatile cryptocurrency that dominate the headline that you heard about. It's not Bitcoin, it's not Ethereum. It's the tokenization of the dollar to create a payment system, just to help economic growth, economic inclusion, and to make life easier in Palau.
Brilliant. And I think, talking about the CBRC score, so we actually scored this very high for 92. So the CBRC score is all about blockchain applicability, using blockchain for the right reasons. And to be honest, you're using blockchain for payments, for inclusion, for everything that you just said, in terms of, it's an amazing use case. It helps people, it's secure, it's immutable, it's got people can take it on the boat and, everywhere they need to, and sort of travel around the island. So, I think it's a great project, and deserves a very high score from sort of the research team here.
Great to hear. No, it's good to know, to hear the score and knowing what's being measured is huge. It lets us know we're on the right track, and again, it's all about being compliant and being goal and objective oriented, which is what we're striving for. So thanks a lot for the score and for doing that analysis. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. It's a great project. We're very excited to look at it. So yeah, and I always end it with one question, and you covered this a little bit, but I've been asking this question for 5 or 6 years now, and it's what do you see the future of blockchain in your opinion? What do you see it in 5 years or so? What does it look like?
Oh, definitely. I think in the future we'll eliminate a lot of the less secure means of doing transactions, and we'll have more things in the blockchain where it's irrefutable, it can't be forged, it can't be changed. the decentralized verification and validation is super important. And then just, we have to get to a point with users where they accept that it is what it is, right? It's secure, and they need to trust it the way they trust banks today to hold their fiat currency. Yes, there's a certain amount of regulation that's required to keep everyone honest, but it's the way of the future, and a lot of different countries and different organizations are already going that way, and they're already committing to it. And it'll eliminate a lot of the problems, especially with my cybersecurity background.
Yeah.
A lot of the problems we have now with ransomware, with theft of intellectual property, theft of proprietary data. The blockchain will resolve a lot of that, especially from an authentication and security standpoint.
Excellent. No, that's great. Covering a lot of points for the future, and a lot of what blockchain does do now and is starting to, but will grow even more once people get used to it. So, massive thank you, Jay, for joining us today. That's an amazing project. It's great to see, and look forward to catching up with you in the near future. So, thank you for your time.
Having me. It was great talking to you.